forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Time's gone by, I've traded like dirt into clay. I thought my memories would end. One train over's now 1,000 miles away. When I close my eyes, I'm back to where I've been. In this life there's nothing certain, simply curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today.
Oh, good morning. How you doing, Robertson County? This is 1100 WSGI. I'm U-Turn LaVern, and this is One Street Over, bringing us into another beautiful day. Beautiful day. A little hot, but, you know, it's going to be gorgeous. Welcome to it. Welcome to it. Beautiful Thursday morning, and just so glad you're with us. This is One Street Over. If you're new to the program, this is a chance for us to say, hey, what's going on? One street over from where you're living. Love the Ridgetop Wranglers. That song just perfect for what we're doing here at 1100 WSGI. Now, we've got a couple of guests coming in. We're expecting Gina Webb from Moringa Tree, so hoping she'll come on in here in just a minute. She has not arrived just yet, but that's okay because we got lots of stuff we can talk about till then. Brian Pulley is coming in from United Way. It's kind of so funny. Anytime I'm off, I was off last week. If you're a regular, you know that I had my knee replaced last week, my right knee. And so I took last week off and had Lee Marie and others filling in. And thank you so much because we want to. Are you Gina? Come on in here. Come on in here and sit down, sweetheart. And so I was out last week. So it's kind of funny. I haven't talked to Brian in a couple of weeks at least. So, I mean, and we visit so much that, oh my gosh, we got a lot of catching up to do. So I encourage you to stick around to hear when Brian comes in from United Way. We'll talk about United Way stuff, but we'll probably just talk about stuff going around town too, because that's kind of what we do. But several events before we get to it, Gina, I'll let you get settled. Before we get to it, I want to remind you again, yesterday, if you don't mind pulling that door too for me, Gina. I left that open so you knew where to come, but I'm a little loud and I disturb them across the hall at WDBL sometimes because my voice carries. But we had Brenda Wilson in yesterday from Martin's Chapel. They have their 68th annual barbecue happening this Saturday, and it benefits their barbecue fund that they use to do just emergency things, help people in the community. And it is an iconic event here. It is Saturday from 4 to 8. You can drive through. It's going to be hot out, I know, but you can come out and get your plate and sit out under the shade trees. You can drive through. They'll fix you a plate. $15 plates will have barbecue, slaw, cornbread pie, and the best potatoes in Robertson County. She was talking about how they fix them in this big cauldron, and that just sounds kind of fun. And you can also buy barbecue for $10 a pound. So there's going to be a lot going on. That's a fun event that's happening. And then Lee Marie left a note for me that we have an event happening at the Ebenezer Baptist Church tonight. That's at 6028 Ebenezer Road in Greenbrier. Tonight, they have got Mark Trammell Quartet. So if you're a fan of the format we have now, good old gospel, this is your jam. So you definitely want to get out to that. And it is $10 requested donation at the door. And again, that's a request. That's a suggestion. Kids under 12, absolutely free. They're going to, do the love offering thing because it's a fundraiser for our churches. And they do, the Ebenezer Baptist Church, they do so much good stuff in the community. So just a couple of notes to encourage you to go out. And there's so much happening right now in the summertime. We are so busy around Robertson County. Gina, it's been a minute since you've been in here.
Hey,
yeah, get you to pull up onto that microphone, put that microphone just square on you. There you go. Excellent.
Right.
There we go. I know it's early, right?
Right.
I come in here and I'm like, oh, and everybody's like, how do you do? You, and it's so funny. My husband was teasing me yesterday because I was off last week for my surgery, and I said, man, I kind of would have liked to taken another week off because, I mean, I'm still, getting my leg. I mean,
Sure.
I had my knee replaced,
Oh my
so
gosh.
it's a bit. And but I have to get into it. I've been doing early morning stuff for so many years. When I don't do it, I just feel like I've just been a slug. I'm just so used to getting up early, and I'm just like, and I'm one of those that I love the nightlife. I love being up at, late at night and then sleepy in, but my world just doesn't work with that. So
yeah, that'd be hard.
So I'm acclimated to it, but I get so tickled when my guests come in and they're like, "Oh, it's early."
I
So
know.
anyway,
I just can't get everything done. It's so
welcome,
hard.
welcome. But I'm so glad you're here. Lee Maurice, I had an open it and she was like, "Oh, Gina." And I was like, "Yes, we've had her in." I love the name Moringa Tree because that's something I'm super curious about. And I think I told you this last time. Our youth minister, he has this little community garden and they grow moringa and then sell it. And it's like this super healthy thing, right? So kind of unpack for people who you are, what is Moringa Tree, why that name. I kind of know the story, but it's been a minute. So unpack that for us.
Sure. So the moringa tree means the tree of life in the regions that it grows in. It grows in really warm regions like Africa and India. We source ours from India. But it's pretty awesome. It's like a multivitamin that God just kind of planted in the earth. So it has a lot of the nutritional profile of like a pulled out vitamin that you would take every day. But the regions that it grows in, people use it like mother's best friend, or it really is like the tree that gives you life, And so to us, it was a really spiritual, meaning for like what we're trying to do for the community. We're trying to nourish the community. We're trying to connect them back to the earth. We're trying to, give them connect them back to the way God designed us to do life, and just healing through your food and the plants and stuff. And so that's why we chose Moringa Tree. I just opened our second location in Springfield.
Oh, cool.
So our first location is in Indiana. My sister opened it 14 or 15 years ago. We're actually going to do this fundraiser on July 13th to open a wellness center. It's going to be really awesome. But it's just going to be an all-day event where you can come in and just help to fund the opening of this center, where it's 100% all-natural healing center. Like it's not integrative at all. It's just for all the therapies that are like naturally used to help people to overcome cancer or other like autoimmune problems. And
right.
So we're really excited about that. And then the second location then is in White House. That's where I'm kind of halfway between both locations. And then the third one's over in Springfield at the Southside Drug in the little soda fountain in there on 1000 South Main Street. So
that's cool.
Yep.
You've been at this a while because I know you and Kathy, my friend Kathy, had the connection, Kathy Harden.
Yeah.
And that's how I first met you.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I was always intrigued, and she's passed, but she survived cancer much longer than she was supposed to.
Right.
That's one thing that if you see this little cross on my wrist, I could real quickly tell the story. I have a lot of friends from the Egyptian community because for a couple of years I taught English second language to Egyptian immigrants. It's a long story how that happened, but it was just something that when I started going back in to teach in high school, I first was looking into being an ELL teacher because I just have a great love for our newcomers. I just fell in love with immigrants. And so anyway, but the Egyptian people, the Coptic Christians, are the ones that are immigrating in masses because they're persecuted in their country because they're Christian. Well, it's a 2,000-year-old tradition. You will see them, they'll have a cross on their wrist, right? And when they first started their conversion 2,000 years ago, the typical thing was it was a lot of slavery. And so if you were a slave, you would have your slave owner's name on your wrist. And when they started becoming Christian, they said, no, we belong only to Jesus. And they started putting that cross on their wrist. They still do it. So Kathy was at my house. We had a day of Pentecost party at my house. There was a bunch of Egyptian people there. And we were telling the story about why you see this cross on the wrist of the Coptic Christians. And I get a call like a week later from Kathy, and she goes, "Hey, LaVern, let's go get a cross on our wrist. Let's go get a tattoo." And I said, "What?" Because I never wanted a tattoo. I was one of those people, right? Oh. And I said, "What?" And her husband, David, I said, "What does David say?" He says, "I can do what I want." I said, "Okay."
Of course she can.
Well, so then I went to my Egyptian friends and I explained it to them because here was Kathy's reasoning. She was, stricken with cancer. And she goes, "I have been around so much longer than I was supposed to be. If I ever get to where I can't speak the name of the reason why I'm a miracle, I want people to look there and know, because otherwise the rocks will cry out." I told that at her memorial.
Aww.
And everybody's going, "If I'd have known that, I'd have gone and got one too."
Oh my goodness.
So I asked my friends, I said, is that okay? And they were like, yeah, let's go. And so a bunch of us went to a tattoo shop and got these crosses on our wrists. And then another friend of mine, she has one here. And I asked Fazia, I said, why do you have this one? And she says, so everyone sees, And so that's the reason for the crosses on my wrist is Kathy.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have that connection. And I was so intrigued by the Macedonian mistletoe.
Mm-hmm.
Was that what she used?
Yeah.
What? Tell me about that stuff. That's crazy.
Yeah.
She did great on that until and therefore after a while it just didn't, help.
Well, it was just different.
But,
yeah.
Man, I thought that was really, honestly and truthfully, my sister passed away of cancer 3 years ago. And I was telling her, her and Kathy kind of connected because they went through their cancer journey somewhat together.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me about Macedonian mistletoe.
Well, mistletoe in general is just like an autoimmune herb. Like it helps your immune cells to be activated. So there's lots of herbs that do that, but it's nice when you find one that's kind of like all in one, where it activates your immune cells, but it also like helps you to recognize the bad cells and helps you to like effectively kill them out. So a lot of and it's kind of like an antiviral. So a lot of times cancer will act like a virus in the body and where it's like kind of, it's a DNA structure where it's kind of taking over your DNA, and you're not recognizing it. And so like the keys that, we used with Kathy when we were doing natural healing was, getting her immune system to be activated so that she can identify things and then getting ahead of the production of the bad cells with things like mistletoe. And she was doing a whole bunch of other stuff too. We were doing the Gerson therapy and some other therapies with her. We were doing a bunch of stuff. I was actively involved in like her natural healing process. Yeah. So I was just doing the best I could do and just I just
extended her life of years. I mean, I believe with all my heart, and you were a big part of that. And I know her family recognizes that too, but that's how you and I first met. And I remember when you walked in, I'm like, how do I know you? And that was it. But so I'm having known Kathy for so many years because we raised our kids together. She was really into this stuff, and of course it is. My chiropractor is really, Wild Roots. I mean, he's just Dr. Brown. I don't know if you know him.
Oh,
he's fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
And so, man, what we've got in the ground around us, I want to learn about that stuff so much. But so are you, I wonder when I'll start. Are you doing like classes where I could come in and you teach me how to find the things in nature? Because we've let our acreage, one section of it, just go to God, and it just came up. And we've got this beautiful woods that's natural.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just what God planted, period. I want to know what all's out there.
Right.
You know? I want to know, okay, that's this and this is, I want to know how to harvest this stuff.
Yeah, it's fun.
I think it is too. And I know I've got all kinds, and we've got the 2 hills. We've got this land that you can't build on. Half of my land, you can't do anything. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
But I know there's some wonderful things over there that could be harvested, but I don't have a first clue.
There's lots of herbalist conferences. We just got done with our homesteaders conference this spring. So like that class, we did like a 3-day conference. It was like mostly Saturday, and then we had some on Friday and Saturday Sunday that we had the farm tour. But we taught on herbalism. We taught on like traditional skills like sourdough and fermenting and canning and all the things. We're planning on doing another one. We're not quite sure if we'll just do a 1-day where we do a plant walk and we do plant ID and we talk about, so we have a couple of herbalists that are really, really good with that, that might come up and help us with that. There's other conferences around Tennessee, like Wild Medicine was another one that went on. So there's lots of like places you can go to learn those things, but we always do, like we do monthly classes over at the cafe. So I actually have a class tonight. I'm doing a sourdough making class, and it's a master sourdough making class for ancient grains, because a lot of people don't use the ancient grains. They just use white flour, and I'm not a big fan of white anything. White flour, white sugar, the rancid oils. So we use like spelt or einkorn, or just kind of stick with the ancient grains the way that God designed them before they were hybridized in America and sprayed down with all kinds of craziness. So that class is tonight. But I do love to, my heart is a teacher. Like I have, 10 kids, and I homeschool them all. And I actually have a background in education as well. But
so cool.
So I just love to educate people.
This is fascinating.
So, but yeah, sourdough class tonight. Then I think next month we'll probably do I'm actually starting a natural healing course where I'll walk a 6-week course with people. So that information's on our website as well. And it just kind of goes over being able to check people for different like deficiencies and find pathogens and how to look for things in your body. And then I think after I get through that series, I'll probably do another herbalism class, before we get back into school. But yeah, every month we try to do something, whether it's like on natural medicine, like we've done a Dr. Mom where it's like all things common ailments. What do you take so you can build your medicine cabinet naturally? So instead of ibuprofen, well, what do you reach for instead as a pain reliever? Or, you have a ear infection. Well, what can you use instead of that? So we do things like that where we'll just kind of show people like what have people done in the past, what have people done naturally and healed the same problem, but without any side effects, and work with the body instead of against it. But yeah, so I love like educating the community on stuff like that. I love doing nutrition classes too, because I feel like there's a lot of verbiage out there that people get hung up in and like, counting calories and different things like that, where it's more about the quality of your food than it is anything. That's why we push for organic so hard, because the nutritional quality of organic food is superior to the conventional counterparts. Plus the regenerative, farming that you need to do to recover the earth so that it's actually God honoring and stewarding the earth the way we were designed and intended. So just all those things like that we just try to, throw out posts here and there. Like I don't really like social media, but if I'm going to have a platform, I want to use it for education, like for people to understand. And I feel like, when you hear truth, it resonates with you if you're looking for it. If you don't want to hear it, you don't want to hear it. But, for those people who are truth seekers, like when you hear something, you see something and you're like, and it totally resonates with your soul, you're like, that's truth. Like I totally need to go after that. And I feel like that's how I've just kind of run everything that we go off of. Like if I feel like it totally resonates truth, I'm like, I want to push that, I want to throw that out there. I want people out to find it too, because I remember when I didn't know anything. I mean, I still don't know anything, but I remember when I really didn't know anything, and I just all of the problems I had with my children and things that I could have overcome naturally, that I didn't need to have all these other side effect problems that my children had, because I had no other answers. I had nobody else telling me. There was nobody natural when I was having my first few kids. Nobody was doing anything against the grain or against counterculture or anything. It was just, you go in, you get your checks, you do this, you get your kids vaccinated, you put them on formula, you do this, that, and the other. And like, just to have somebody else saying, no, this is what we've done for hundreds of years before all of the invention of like the Industrial Revolution on,
Yeah.
Like this is how people just ran cultures together, as like communities that built each other up. And so I'm super excited about that whole just bringing the community back together, like the events that people are doing. I think that's so wonderful, because people need to reconnect with each other, stop just being on a social media or something. Like those aren't your friends. Like, you know what I mean? Like your friends are the people you see in person, and social media is great for trying to find information to a degree. Sometimes it's just overwhelming and ridiculous, but I think in-person events are where it's at, connecting people with each other. And we're actually looking into building a farm school where we're going to have like a permaculture farm on our property. I have a permaculture
What is that? What is that?
So
Explain
permaculture is just like how you rejuvenate the soil, and you work with the land, and you work with like, say you're trying to do, you're looking at your land, you say, well, what's going to grow here? What thrives here? And then what can I do with it? And so it's working with nature and finding, like, if you've never seen the documentary, The Biggest Little Farm, it's the cutest thing ever. I think it's on YouTube, but that is like the concept of permaculture. If you have a problem in your, they had a problem in their apple orchard or something like that, and there were slugs or something. I don't remember which orchard it was, but there's like slugs everywhere, and they have ducks, but the ducks were in a different part of the farm. Well, the permaculture guy is like, well, you have all these snails and all these problems, but ducks love those things. So he's like, so just roam your ducks through your orchard and it'll take care of the problem. And they did. So they fenced in the ducks all around the orchard, and they went through and ate all the pests off of their plants. And it's like working with nature instead of spraying for things and trying to kill stuff and control stuff. It's like, well, something eats that. What can I get that's going to eat that or fix that problem for me? And that's kind of the concept behind like permaculture is what naturally fixes that problem. And so we're going to set one up at our place so that we could use that as like a workshop area to teach people how to do this on their property, whether they're using it for commercial use like we are, we're going to, send it to the cafe, or if it's like, you're just trying to feed your community, you want to have like a CSA, or you just want to have your, place where people can pick up their produce. But I feel like everybody can benefit from learning how to, manage their land, whether they have 1 acre or whether they have 100. It doesn't matter whether you're letting your woods go naturally. Well, there's a whole thing going on in the way.
Yeah, it's cool.
All kinds of medicine in the woods
Man. Yeah, I love just walking through it and just looking and going, what is that? And I have the little ID thing on my phone where I take a pic.
Yeah.
What is this?
Mm-hmm.
And I do that all the time.
Yeah.
And, as you're sitting here talking, because I'm teaching, education, I'm teaching at Greenbrier High School. I'm the audio video production teacher.
Oh, okay.
And so we finally published our first documentary, which was, the kids did such a great job. It was on what's happening with drug abuse, and it was just powerful.
Wow.
Now we've got one on Bigfoot. It's a little more silliness with that. Mr. Joe Blue, I'm working on that. I've got all the stuff. I'm wanting to make sure it's represented properly.
Sure.
So anyway, but
funny.
we'll finish that. But as I'm coming up, they're always wanting us, because I'm a career technical education teacher, CTE, and they're wanting us to integrate our professional programs with the curriculum like science and math and all that. So I'm thinking, ooh, if I can get my kids interested in this, I can talk to my science and biology teachers, maybe get you to come in and talk, and let's do a little mini documentary.
Yeah,
I got to get the kids into it. But and a lot of the kids, they love this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
People talk about the next generation. Oh, they're good. No, I mean, we got to get them off the devices.
Yeah.
That drives me out of my mind.
Right.
But they care about this stuff. They care about what they're consuming. It's like my kids tease me. They're like, yeah, Mom, you never take us to the doctor when there was kids. I didn't want them taking a bunch of antibiotics, because all they did is just give them antibiotics.
Right.
And so we would just, push. I mean, we would just let our bodies take care of it. And fortunately, we're, we are healthy, and we did that. One of my boys, he kind of gives me a little bit of a hard time about it. You never took me to the doctor. But it's like, yeah, and you're better for it now, because you didn't take all these antibiotics and steroids and all this kind of stuff. And you have a better immune system. Yeah. And because I knew Kathy.
Yeah.
She encouraged me. Don't just take them to the doctor every time they get near.
Right.
Do it this way. And so I learned a lot from Kathy, but I've forgotten it, because bless, we don't have her with us anymore.
Yeah.
And how you were talking about the ancient grains, she would grind her own flour.
Right.
So how do you source that kind of stuff?
Right. Well, we have farmers in Tennessee where they are growing all the ancient grains now. There's a cooperative over in Sparta, a really, really, really sweet family running that over there. But the Farmer's Storehouse, and they're connecting with, I think they have like 90 different like suppliers of just like artisans and farmers and stuff. Cool. But they pull in grains that people are growing from local areas, and they'll pull in einkorn and kamut and like spelt and all kinds of like fun stuff. They'll make their own starter flour blend for your sourdough and all kinds of stuff. But but I source mine from another Mennonite farm like over in Ohio. And you can source your grains, not too far away, which is good because of trucking or other issues. You want to be able to find your food.
Right.
So that's really cool, but I don't mill it anymore. I used to, but since I know they milled it pretty quickly, I'm not, there's a couple of things. If you mill your own and it's like a certain type, you have to use it right away or freeze it, because it'll go rancid really quick. And then there's another way that they can mill it where it won't go rancid right away, and you can store it like in your 5-gallon buckets with the gamma seals. So that's the kind I use, because I feel like during the fermentation process, it brings back a lot of the nutrients that you may start losing as it's been sitting around. So that's a really cool thing about microbes, is that they love sugar, which is not good for us, and then they impart all the nutrients back into whatever you're going to consume.
Man, you've got so much knowledge in your head. This is so fun listening to you. Okay, so we're going to be out of time in just a minute. Let's do this. Let me do a break, and then I want you to kind of get your thoughts together. What do people need to know about our visit today? Because, I mean, if this isn't perk your interest, it's so cool. Everybody talks about, the society's doing this. What happens if everything shuts down?
We got
need to have friends like Gina. I don't worry about that kind of stuff. I just don't. I just follow. I trust Jesus. He's got this, man. I don't put my faith in any person. I put my faith in him, and it's going to be just fine, y'all.
Yep.
Come on.
Absolutely.
But anyway, but nonetheless, I know there's a lot of people that are really into this. So if you're really into prep stuff, you need to know somebody like Gina, because she can school you. I just want to know, because I've got all this beautiful land and some beautiful things out there, and I'm like, I'd love to just go out and harvest this stuff,
right,
and bring it into my home, and
somebody might be looking for that medicine.
Yeah, there's no telling what's in my woods,
right?
Honestly, our youth minister, Nate Hale, he is just really into all this stuff, and we keep talking about it. I'm gonna come out there and look around and
you should do a plant walk over at your property.
Yeah, that's just it. And he kind of wants to do it too. He's just trying to find,
that'd be fun.
Put it on the calendar and doing it.
Yes.
And so, because he's really into it, and Kathy would do that to some degree. She's been over on my place and found stuff, and she's like, "Oh, there's this, LaVern," and I don't remember.
Yeah.
Write it down.
Right.
But anyway, okay. Let me do my break. We're gonna come back. I'm gonna continue to talk with Gina Webb, and we're gonna let her talk about her event that's coming up, the fundraiser, and just how to find her, and classes and those kinds of things. Fascinating conversation. I just love this stuff. This is 1100 WSGI, but we do have some sponsors we need to talk about. Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. We just kind of reemphasize that name because for a long, long time they were with the Garden Gate team. They took, and they're a new branch in the exit tree, is how we put it. Barry came on board full-time in real estate, I'm wanting to say about 5 years ago. He was a vice president of a media marketing company for 17 years up in Nashville. So he brings that expertise to the table, and he opened up a brokerage office here in Springfield. Well, his bride, Rebecca, has an office that is a agency office over in the White House area. So they just combined those two and said, okay, we're going to do this for, we're just going to kind of bring it all together and have our own thing going on. And so they brought in a new branch in the exit tree. So it's Exit Prime Realty. That's what you need to search for. Barry Richards, Exit Prime Realty. Rebecca Richards, Exit Prime Realty. Her number is 615-504-7425. 615-504-7425. What are you going to find when you connect with them? She's one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist. She's been at this a long time. Barry bringing that marketing expertise to the table. If you are trying to sell property and you're not getting any attention, odds are you have bad photography, because whenever their people are swiping through listings in the area they want, they just quickly look through them, and it's got to pop. If your photography, if you don't have video, if you don't have drone footage, people want to know what's around you. Walkthrough tours. He's an expert at all that stuff. He can package it to where people are not going to miss your property when it's being shown. If you want to connect with them again, just reach out to them. Great folks, longtime sponsors of our program. And again, Rebecca's number, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. And when you connect with them, please always let them know that you turned. Gina Webb is in the house. She is from Moringa Tree Life. And so much about the things that are in nature that can make us well. I love talking to her, and just so thank you so much, Lee Marie, for reminding me that she's here. We got to get you in more regularly. I don't think I said that the last time, but I would love to have you in here on a more regular basis, because it's all. What's in your jar you're drinking?
Oh, I'm just drinking filtered water with apple cider vinegar.
Okay, so it's just water, because I was like, what's in there?
Yeah, right.
So
I love vinegar. It helps your pancreas and your blood sugar levels, and helps.
How much vinegar would you put in?
I mean, just like a tablespoon. Nothing crazy. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to taste like
vinegar. Yeah. So where do you source your vinegar?
I usually just get it in bulk from Azure. Yeah.
Okay.
Bulk buying clubs
because
buying clubs.
See, a lot of these things are not created equally. You'll see something on the store shelf and it's like, oh, apple cider vinegar. Is it?
Yeah. Really? You got to look for the mother.
Really? You got to, You got to have
for the cloudy stuff at the bottom.
Yeah. If it doesn't have that, it's not the same thing.
Yeah. Bragg's got sold out, so I'm not even sure they're doing the same thing anymore, because it used to be like Bragg's was the best, and now it's like, I don't know. I think somebody else took over their company. So
okay, because it used to be a good one, because that's what I would get.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't.
You just
know.
have to look.
Okay.
If it looks clear, you're like, that's not fermented.
No.
Fermented stuff always has like the residue and the
And that's what you want.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell them, what do people need to take away from our visit this morning?
So come visit us at the Moringa Tree in Springfield. We're just getting started and we would love the business. And we just want to see if it's going to work in Springfield. So if you are all about organic food and all about natural healing, swing on by and let us know that you want us to be here. And we're just renting right now from Southside Drug in the little soda fountain area there across from the depot and BS Brewworks. And I would love to open up a restaurant, like full service restaurant eventually over in this area. We actually tried to open here originally. We were going to buy the tea house that they retired, but it just didn't work out. So we ended up in White House, which is great because I love White House and it's cute little quaint town. But our restaurant in White House is full service. Like we do catering, we do everything's, as much as we can farm to table. This time of year, it's great because I have so many farmers.
Right.
We'll do classes. We rent our space. We do parties, like whatever you want to do. We're all about it. We love it.
So where is that location?
So that one is at 317 on Highway 76. We're right down from like Ace Hardware and Kroger. And then not
what
too
are the
far from
hours
31.
that I could pop in there? Because I know
Sure.
exactly
So
where-
Monday to Friday, they're open from 8 to 3. And then on Saturdays, 10 to 4. And then the one in Springfield is on Tuesday to Saturday. And they're 9 to 2 during the weekdays and 10 till 3, I think, on Saturday.
Okay, so if I come into the South Side location, what kind of things can I access?
Yeah, so it's kind of like a half menu of what we do at the other location, but you're gonna get if you want your raw juices, your superfood smoothies, and then we do have like salads. We have some grilled items. We have like grilled cheese, and we have a buffalo chicken wrap and some other things. So all of our bread is either sourdough or sprouted. And then, of course, all our meats are organic from our local farmer. We always have a soup that's made with bone broth stock. And then our salads are super fresh right now because everything is in season. So wonderful. You can get any of that stuff. And then there's always some treats too. You just want some Power Balls or brownies or something to get you through the afternoon. We have those. If you want to do juice cleanse packages, those would probably be more from our White House location, but we do detox packages where if you don't want to even think about your food and you're not really sure where to start, you can just order a cleanse kit with us and you'll get like all your food for the day. And so it'll be like juices, smoothies, and soups. You can even pick like a healthy dinner if you want from us and get like a salad with, organic protein. So you can do something like that where it's like $50 to $60 a day, like for everything organic, all your meals done and ready.
Yeah.
And that's a really good, people love to do that when they're trying to do like a detox protocol
started.
Just get going. They just got done with surgeries or things like that. It's just something to help kind of calm their system to clean out. So we do offer those at our cafe in White House as well.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's cool. And now tell them about your event, your fundraiser that you've got coming up. And I'm going to write down the details so I don't forget it, so I can keep talking about it. So go for it.
Right on. So it'll be July 13th. It's in Elkhart, Indiana. So it'll be at my sister's location. I think it's pretty much an all-day event. It's just going to be like a huge summer fest. We're having bands come in. We have food all day. So the whole goal of that is to open our wellness center, which is going to be a pretty big facility where we'll have lots of different practitioners and lots of different like healing methods.
That's going to be there.
Yeah. But
that's what I misunderstood. So that's not here.
So no, that one's in Indiana,
Okay.
but that kickoff is so that we can get a blueprint so we can recreate it everywhere else.
Okay,
so
so
we are planning to open one here as well.
If I wanted to support that from here, how could I do that virtually?
You could send a donation. You can through their website, moringatreeorganic.com is Jenny's website.
Okay.
But if you're you just find our location, just call us and we'll help you connect with them. Our website is moringatreetn.com.
Okay.
But their website, moringatreeorganic.com, and you can look to see how if you wanted to just donate to get that going off the ground, or you have family up in Indiana, send them over there.
Okay.
But yeah, that's going to be super fun.
And your website is Moringa Tree Tennessee?
TN.
TN.com. Okay, I got it. Okay, good deal.
Yep.
Gina Webb, guys, just fascinating. Very interesting. So good to see you again. Thank you for coming in early. I know.
Appreciate it.
Wake up.
It's all good.
Go get those 10 kids. Wow. God bless you. Oh my gosh. You're doing kingdom work, sister. Thank you. Gina Webb with Moringa Tree. I'm going to let her make her way out, and then Brian Pulley is going to make his way in. And while he is doing that, we are going to talk about our sponsor, Veterans Motorplex. Love what's going on at Veterans Motorplex, guys. If you've not been to the races, you don't know what you're missing. I went several times last year, just trying to get my legs back under me to get up there this summer, and I will be there several times. I'm wondering, I got to touch base with Jerry if they're going to have the big trucks come in. I went last year when they had the big rigs come in and race around the track, and that was fabulous. That was so much fun. But they have all kinds of fun events out there, and it is one of probably the best kept secrets in Robertson County that we've got this amazing racetrack that's historic. It's been around forever. I was talking with Mayor Vogel about some of the people who have raced on that track, and he was talking about going out there as a young man. It's at 6801 Kelly Willis Road in Greenbrier. It's been around a long time. This is the old Highland Rim Speedway. It was given new birth by Jerry with Veterans Motorplex. Now, you have to follow them if you want to know what's going on out there. You follow them at Highland Rim Speedway, but you'll see the banner's been changed to Veterans Motorplex. It is a family-friendly environment. No alcohol served or allowed. They got a great concession stand with everything you would want coming in. The local kids, some of them, that's their first summer job. It's just a fun atmosphere, fun events, local favorites, racing happening every Saturday, weather permitting, March to October. Because of the renovations, they got a little bit of a late start. We've talked a lot about that. So I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't extend the race season into November if the weather allows them to. But again, just stay up to date with them at Highland Rim Speedway for Veterans Motorplex. And when you get out there, please always let our sponsors know that Hello, Mr. Pulley.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Good morning.
I told everybody coming in, I was like, okay, Brian's coming in. We haven't talked to each other in 2 weeks.
It's been a while.
We may just chat.
We may
about
chat for a
things
minute.
going on.
May chat for a minute. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. How's your summer going?
Great. You know, the old knee replacement thing. Had that done.
How'd that
a week
go?
ago. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. I'm still not, I don't have my legs under me.
Not
real
dunking
well.
a basketball yet.
No,
Yet.
no, I got to be careful. My
Yeah.
doctor, he looked me in the eye more than once, is Dr. Hodrick,
Mhm.
Southern Joint. He goes, do not overdo it, because he goes,
key.
it's a balance.
Right.
So they've given me the very strict limitation of being on my feet only 10 minutes per hour for the first 2 weeks. So
Good.
the second
Listen
week
to your
will end
doctor.
on Monday.
Listen to your doctor.
I might have not done that yesterday.
See. You gotta listen to your doctor.
Well, we went shopping yesterday, and so I was on my and as soon as I was like, okay, I need to sit down, and I was like, okay, Dr. Hodrick's right. So I have a hard time. I get stir crazy so fast. Oh man, I can't
Anything
hardly
with your
stand it.
legs too. I've had a broken leg
Yeah.
before, and when you got to sit up with that. I've had a broken arm. You're still mobile with a broken arm. Like you can do things.
I
And
went to Mexico in a
Yeah,
cast. I
yeah.
was like, man,
With
you
your
can take
leg-
that with you. Leg's a different story.
you got that gets
Yeah.
you around. So
I'm super excited though to not have the knee pain and all that. So once this all settles down,
Yeah.
look out.
do the rehab.
Yeah. Oh,
faithfully,
yes.
Faithfully.
Love Bethany up at Star. She's one of
Yeah.
my dear friends, and
Yeah.
so she's my therapist. But
Yeah.
when I go to see her, it's like, oh, this is gonna hurt, and it does. But I'm doing great. People who know, I'm already at 110 degrees a week after surgery, and so if you know anything about that stuff, that's pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
That's remarkable, and then
Yeah.
that's really forcing it. But the fact that I can get to 110 degrees just a week out, and I haven't gotten beyond that yet. But and that's a bend in your knee. We're gonna I'm gonna have Bethany in, and we're gonna talk about joint replacement because people who, if you're having any kind of arthritic pain and things like that, I have a friend of mine, and she's having terrible knee issues. And I'm like, you need to go talk to somebody about joint replacement. And she does not live around here. She has a very rural doctor. She says I'm not a candidate. I'm like, are you sure? And I respect anybody that is a doctor, that's done the education, but not all doctors are the same. And get a second opinion, guys.
Right. Yep.
Don't be, I know you don't want to hurt your doctor's feelings, but they're not all created equal. And
I was told you have to
I'm
be
telling you.
an advocate for your own health. Like
Yes,
you,
you do.
you have to go ask questions, and
yeah,
if it doesn't sound right, then go seek something else and
Yeah.
get confirmation on
yeah,
that. So,
that's just it. So yeah, I'm doing great. How are you doing? How's summer? How the kids?
kids are great. We're running all over God's green earth and doing all the fun stuff
Yeah.
and taking them here and there. And
Yeah.
my daughter's heavily involved in cheer. She's going to be going into IA this year and doing cheer. So we've been running. She had her has practice a few times a week and all that good stuff. So we're just doing the next season of life. It's good.
So is she involved with like the competition level stuff?
No,
or-
it's just for the school. But
Just for the
they have
school, okay.
they have a class once a week in Gallatin that the team does, and then they have a couple practices here locally a
Yeah.
week. So She had her first stay away camp this summer at Christian camp up in Century Kid up in Campbellsville, Kentucky.
Fun.
Yeah, and so that was a big deal for our
How old is
family. She used to be 11 next month.
That's
so
great. Yeah.
about the right time.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's a big deal.
it's a big deal. Like when we did the drop off, we didn't know how it was gonna go, and she's like, "All right,
See you later.
peace, mom and dad. See you. Y'all be good." And it was good. And we got 2 calls all week, like just check-in calls, and I think those were the chaperone kind of told her you need to call your parents, otherwise I don't know if we'd have heard from her. So
That's cool.
she had a couple buddies up there, and they were having a big time. But it was good. So it's been a good summer, and
Yeah.
it's flying by. So
Yeah.
we're clicking along. Yeah.
Yeah, it truly is. I'm looking at because my schedule is going to be insane because I am still going to Mexico for my mission trip. That's why I had to get my knee replaced as soon as school was out, so I could be ready to go. Because you're not supposed to fly for at least 6 weeks before you go, and to get that done. So I'm going to be going to Mexico, and then I'm going to get my left knee replaced before school starts. So I mean, everybody's like, "What are you doing this summer?" I'm like, "It's already booked." I got it on the schedule. This is what we're doing,
Right.
and so it's all good.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Yeah.
So anyway, so what's happening with the United Way
We
World?
got all kinds of fun stuff. We do have a new person here
Yes.
that's serving Robertson and Cheatham, and they will be like kind of like I do, serving a little bit of Davison, but she'll be based here. Catherine Stewart. She comes to us from the YMCA here locally. She's also president of Rotary. That's how I knew her.
Okay.
And so
I know her.
you probably do. You've seen her around.
Yeah.
She's transplant. I think she's originally from Michigan, maybe, but she's been down here for a while. Her and her family. She's 2 kids, married here, and so this is her home for her. She loves this community, and she has a heart for serving her community. I've seen that firsthand with the stuff we've done with Rotary, and so she's going to do an amazing job. She Good Morning Robertson County this morning as well. It was a good opportunity for her to go meet folks in that
Hey,
role.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, so she's doing that this morning, but she'll be coming in regularly here and talking to you. And so really excited to have her working up here because I think and Ace was this way, Tiffany was this way, and they might have had different personalities, but the one thing they did have in common that Catherine has as well is they have a heart for serving.
Yeah.
And so that's what you have to be in that role, and you're working with our partner agencies that are on the front lines that are serving our community every day. So she's going to be great in that. She's got a good temperament for it, and I think just like I said, real heart for serving her community. She's going to be an asset to what we're doing up here, and I'm excited. She's a very much of an idea person too, and so I'm excited some of the ideas she's going to bring and maybe some different things that we can do that will help folks here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And can't wait to meet her. And so you promised me she'll be here next week?
I think so. Yeah.
I think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Her first day was she just started this month, so she's getting onboarded and all the HR stuff, and you have to do so. But I thought it would be good for her to go to that community event today, just to meet
for
folks
sure.
in that role and say I'm with the United Way now, and so. But yeah, she'll be in here regularly, and I think you're going to really enjoy talking to her. She's just like a good person who has, like I said, it's just a servant's heart. So I think that's going to be exactly what you look for in this role. And we have a great group of folks that work at United Way. I was joking with somebody. We're interviewing for another position on our workplace team, which is the fundraising team. And the lady, we got done there, she said, everybody around here is so nice. And I'm like, I worked here for like a year. And I thought, there's no way these people are this nice. Like, when are we going to start, like, hollering at each other? I came from college athletics, okay? There's a bunch of former athletes and coaches and people that kind of will snap at each other if things aren't going well, and then we'll move on. Like, it's no grudges or hell.
The stress of it.
Right. Or just like it's a competitive field.
Yes.
And I was like, I worked here like a year, and I kept waiting for the night, and it's like people are just like genuinely this good folks, they're loving what they're doing. So I think she will be a good addition and fall right into that. So we're excited to have her.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Other than that, the big thing, and I talked about this the last time we talked, and this was great because I think it was the last day of school. That's the last time I was in here.
Yeah.
We have our Stuff the Bus. School supply collection going on here, which is crazy to think about
Already?
but we have to do it because it takes weeks to get all this stuff lined up. And so if you are interested, I think July 1 is the cutoff. You can contact me, 615-780-2401, 615-780-2401. You can go to the United Way of Greater Nashville website. If you're typing it in Google, just type in United Way of Greater Nashville Stuff the Bus. United Way of Greater Nashville Stuff the Bus. It'll pull up our page. Everything is linked there. You can, as far as the supplies that are needed, where you can purchase them, where you can drop them off. Any detail you want. If you just want to make a financial donation, you can do that. We will then purchase the supplies at a wholesale rate. So, but you can drop those off. Contact me directly, though, if you want to drop them here at the Robertson County office. anything that we collect here in this county will go to students in Robertson County as well. So just want to pass that along. But we're collecting throughout our 9-county footprint, and then we're distributing out through our 9-county footprint as well.
I cannot say enough about being as a teacher. The things, it was a couple of things that we needed specifically for our classroom last year that y'all helped us get. That, because Mark and I, we don't really know how to navigate the waters of how do we get supplies, because you don't want to ask these kids, hey, you need to go spend this money and bring this in, because there's a lot of families that cannot afford it.
No.
And I do not want to add a financial burden. It's like all the fees and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, and man, I just can't do that to my kids. I'm trying to come up with fundraising ideas. So, when we get our club rolling, that there's no cost for them, that we're going to raise the money, because it's a tough time. Things are expensive, and you just don't want to add that to families. And just talking to Gina, she's got 10 kids. I mean, it's a big bill when you take just 2 kids.
How many? 10?
She has 10 kids.
10.
10 kids.
My grandmother had 10 kids. My mom was one of 10. So
Isn't that cool?
that is you don't hear that as much anymore.
It's amazing. But just, and they homeschool, so it's different. But can you imagine taking you take a couple of kids to, when you go do the back to school shopping, it's a lot.
It's a chunk out of our budget that month. I'll just say that. And that's just with 2. And that is trying to kind of keep it pretty minimal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're not going out, they're not getting new backpacks and new everything every year. Like we try to get the stuff they need.
Last year, your lunchbox is fine.
The stuff they need. And then there's always like that one thing that's like, this would be like a cool whatever, that they want for school. And if it gets them excited about going back to school, that's kind of my thing, is like, I'll spend a little money because it's getting them kind of hyped up about going back to school. But I can imagine if you had 3, 4, 5, and then, or maybe you're helping another, a nephew or a niece or somebody there where their family's struggling, you're trying to help them. And as we all know, with the inflation doing what it's doing, stuff has not gotten cheaper. So our goal is to make sure every child in this community has every supply that they would possibly need for school. And then our goal is also to support our teachers. We do not want you guys going in your pockets to do things that you should not have to do that. But I know you do, and I know that they do all the time. But we try to, if we can backfill some of those supplies, hopefully we'll have extras. I know in the past we've had extras, and we supplied the Family Resource Center, and we've also supplied your warehouse, so that throughout the year, if there's needs come up, it's like, well, we got cases of these things, what I mean? So at least there's some help there, but we just our goal, we don't want any kid going to school and not having what they need.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was just a huge help to Mark and I last year, because we were getting ready to pull it out of our own pocket.
Yeah.
And Tiffany was like, you don't have to do that. And I'm like, really? Y'all could help us do this? And she's like, yes, we can. What are you looking for? And I was looking for, I want the kids to journal. I'm wanting them to pen to paper write. I just want them to do that as much as possible. And so I was wanting some journals, and my husband is so super organized. He's like, I need binders for every kid, so we can put this material together. And it helped him. I tease him. It helped him to become they have like these paper plate awards at Springfield, which was super funny. But they gave him the rock star rookie, and he was so proud of that. He's got it.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
He's super organized.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just.
Does he keep you on track? Does he want a relationship that keeps you? Because I got one at home keeps me like.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, she's the analytical type A. I'm the type B. I'm kind of going with the flow. And
yeah. He's the one that's like, LaVern. He's making it better for me. And I'll be honest with you, he's right. I am so much more productive when I'm organized.
Sure.
And
we all are.
I had one of my students. Oh my God, Melvis! It was so funny. Last year we got these 2 new monitors in TVs, but we call them monitors in the studio. They're monitors, and so we had just gotten them all set up, and we were going to use them to. We were doing the news, and I wanted them to be able to see themselves. And so I was like, "Where's the remote?" And I could not find it. And Melvis is like, "You lost the remote, Miss Vivio. He's super organized. And he was on me.
Right.
I found it.
Right.
But it was like he just kind of rolled his eyes at me.
Yeah.
One of my students is like, Miss Vivio, you got to get more organized.
Yeah.
But it's like so, and I know it. But
it's fun to fly by to see your pants though. Sometimes to just kind of see where it goes. But I'm way more productive in every facet of my life when I am organized. But sometimes I just like, you know what? I'm just going with this one. It was
Yeah,
see what happens, and most of the time it works out
Sometimes it's
okay.
really fun.
Sometimes it's really fun, and it'll throw you a curveball. I was like, I wouldn't expected that. That was kind of fun. Yeah,
exactly.
So yeah, us folks, us type B, less organized folks, we have probably more fun than y'all do. I was just gonna say
Thank
that.
you.
Yes, yes.
We do.
And life's a little more adventurous
And we
for
just
us.
chill. You know,
Yeah,
we're like,
it's
it'll
okay.
be fun.
It'll be
It'll
fine.
be fun.
Yeah.
Come on.
Right.
And
I'm not saving people out of burning buildings over here. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be okay.
yeah, exactly. But I do when my own students recognize that I need to get organized.
Yeah,
because,
that may be a little bit of a time of reflection right there. If you've got teenagers telling you to be more organized.
Come on, Miss Vivio.
Yeah.
Get it together. But anyway, I love being in the schools and with these kids. It's just so much fun. But I do appreciate United Way really helping us out to get those critical things we really needed last year.
And hopefully we'll have, typically after Stuff the Bus is over, we will have some excess, and also I think usually can convert some of our funds into gift cards as well that we can maybe help with. And we just never know how that's going to go until we're done, because we have a goal and we have we're trying to meet with all of our different distribution points. And so we've kind of committed to a certain amount with everybody, and because that's what they're expecting and that's what they told us they need. So hopefully we meet that and then some, and then some is what we can use to help after the fact too. Yeah. So that's our goal. We're collecting right now. I've sent out a bunch of emails this week just to follow up with some of our companies. But if we have folks here locally, please help. We've had people in the past that have made individual donations and companies that have obviously made donations. And so if you're like, I've never donated that, $50 is great. Oh, yeah. It doesn't take much, just a little something to help. It's the overall, and again, it's going to go to kids right here in this community that are needing it to go to school, and there's more than you know that need help. So
it's so funny. Barry and Rebecca Richards, our sponsor from Exit Prime Realty, last year he came in and gave me this big wad of pencils. I mean, just huge. He's like, "Here, you can use these in the classroom." I'm like, "Well, thank you, but I'll never use this many." So I gave my husband half of them. I went through those.
Yeah.
So quick because the kids just
they go through
I was stunned. I was like, how in the world am I out of pencils?
Right.
And but anyway, it was just hysterical.
You just
have no idea.
Like, how are you going to use a million glue sticks or whatever, and then they're gone like by October?
Yeah.
It's very similar concept. The first child I had, we had a friend do us a little baby shower, and they gave us like diapers and wipes. They did that thing. Like, and I was like, what am I going to do with 5 million wipes, baby wipes? They were gone in 2 months. Yes. You know what I mean? So it's a similar concept. So I kind of never use all this. You're dealing with kids and they lose stuff, and you're just going through it. It goes quickly. So no donations too small. We want to stop the good problem to have. I remember one year, and Dr. Causey was still here. He's like, I don't know what I'm going to do with all this stuff. That's what I want to hear this year. I want to have so much supplies and so much stuff that they're like, I don't know where we're going to store all this stuff because there's so much, because we want to make sure everybody's got what they need.
I love it. We're talking with Brian Pulley. He is with United Way. And I just can't say enough about just loving to sit and visit with him. I've already done my sponsor. So
okay. I got a couple of personal things that also are community focused that I would like to just give a little quick plug to. Last 2 years, we have been involved with, and this is, as you know, me, a passion of mine. We have been involved with a free basketball clinic here in Springfield.
Right.
It is next week at the center. We are full this year, but I just want to highlight that this goes on every summer. Ashley Roberson, who works with our Family Collective and with Tennessee Voices, her husband, I think, is a basketball coach up in White House, and he kind of staffs it for us, so he has contacts in that world. But they have worked really, really hard, and I've worked alongside them to make sure this is a complete. The word "free" does not exist anymore. This is a completely free basketball, and through some very generous folks, we are able to do this through sponsorships and make sure the kids have, I think it's 4 full days. It's the 21st, maybe it's five full days. In the mornings, every morning at the center, they get hours of instruction. They get some little goodies. They're getting like one-on-one instruction. I went last year, went for a couple of days. It's just a really cool thing in our community. I went to a basketball camp when I was younger, a few years. It was a big experience for me and helped like really elevate what I was trying to do, but it cost money. It was very expensive. And thankfully my family they had to kind of save and piece it together, but they were able to send me because that's something I really wanted to do. But in this case, it's free. And so
I love it.
I reached out to a couple of folks I know that coach here in the community, that coach in our city leagues, and I said, hey, I want to, talk to your people because they have, the contacts of the parents. I said ones that especially like that would not be able to afford something like this, and make sure that they're aware of it. And so we were able to sign up probably 6 to 8 through them that just would not have been able to go something like this otherwise. And so it's right here at the center. It's easy to get to, all next week. And so we're going to hopefully do this. This is going to be an annual thing. I think it's the third time. First time they did it, I didn't know about it. And I said, I want to plug into this. You know what I mean? Because this is something that is near and dear to my heart. And so the last 2 years, we've been heavily involved in it and helped get some sponsorship for it and to make sure that the kids can go for free. So very proud to be having it this year. And Ashley and her group do a lot of leg work with the supplies and the T-shirts and getting all the goodies for the kids and lining the coach up. This year we have a women's coach as well because we had girls in there, and the women's game is just there's some slight differences in the men's game. As you know, you were a player growing up, so we wanted to make sure that our girls here in the community had some personal instruction as well. So we're just really excited about this event. Yeah, and it's something it brings me more joy than anything in this world, I think, to walk in there and hear a bunch of basketballs bouncing and see the kids jumping around and the coaches on them and know that they all got to go completely free is a big deal for us. So we're excited about it. Yeah.
So tell me this. Okay, tell me the ages again.
It's rising third graders because there's TSSAA rows. So it's rising third graders through rising eighth graders. That's why. So if you're going into third,
if you're going into eighth,
that's the cutoff's 8 because they can't have high school kids because then there's weird stuff going on with recruiting and everything. So. But going into third, going into eighth, and everything in between.
Is there still slots?
No, not this year.
It's
booked this year.
Okay.
But I just wanted to highlight that. It's like people are like, well, I need to get my kids and stuff. That again, you can contact me directly, and I had a little mailing list this year. I grabbed some emails.
Okay.
So you can contact me directly, 615-780-2401, if your kid will be interested maybe next year. Henry's not a rising third grader yet.
Yeah.
He would love to get in there with them. He's going in first grade, but he thinks he could beat everybody in town, but not there yet. So we'll definitely get him involved down the road. But if you're looking at things for your children in the summer, I know we're all trying to fill time and make sure they have activities. So you don't want them just sitting around the house all day or going to somebody's house and sitting around and being on their tablet or watching TV. So this is exercise. If they're interested in basketball.
And the center's so awesome.
The center's awesome.
They
get
just banging like crazy on that table.
I'm sorry. You got me passionate.
I know. You're
sorry.
like, come on, preach it.
I'm going to put my hands down.
He's beating the pulpit.
Sorry. But we're excited about it. And so be thinking about next year. And it's usually in June is when we do it. So it's, second and third week in June. And we want to make sure to keep this going every year. It's our goal to keep it going and grow it too. We would love to grow it and be able to add more kids. I mean, we had to have more coaches, so that requires more funding because we do pay the coaches for their time just because, they're providing. I mean, I think a couple are doing it, on a very discounted rate, but we still need to pay them a little something. And then also the T-shirts and supplies and everything. Stuff costs money. So if you want to run a camp, it costs a little money, but that's where the sponsorship side comes in. Also, if you're interested in sponsoring this event, it's a great event to be a part of, and you want to pour into your community, you can contact me there as well. So I cannot technically solicit for anything other than United Way.
I got you.
But I will just tell you.
You can point them in the right direction.
It's a great thing to be a part of. If you care about young people, you want to see them participate in sports and you want to see them have good, healthy activities and all that kind of stuff, then that's a good place for them to be. So just a little personal plug. We're excited about it. And so next year, keep that in mind. And if your child's interested in basketball, we would love to have them.
And for the reason why I asked if there were still some slots, because Mark, when they hired him at Springfield to be one of the criminal justice teachers, they also hired him to be a coach. But they, Coach Wilson said, hey, I need you to go into the middle school and help with the football program there. And he is absolutely loving working with these middle school kids. There's a sweetest. I was down there with him yesterday, and he's helping them do some weightlifting in this kind of place where you got that little window before you get back into practice.
Right.
But he also ended up working with the basketball team.
Yeah.
And so I think he's got some kids definitely, and I don't think he'll be doing that this year, but it was one of those things that there were so many of those kids that would have benefited from this. So I don't know. Maybe some of them are going.
Maybe. My goal is to have that thing full. It fills up quickly. Free things fill up quickly.
I bet it does.
But I know what we paid for Henry to have his little day camp this year, and
expensive.
camps are expensive. So to have a free camp is just amazing, and we're very proud of that. But I want to fill it up. I want it to grow this thing. I'd love to have it 2 or 3 gyms down the road
That'd be great.
where we just got kids bouncing basketballs everywhere, and so.
And that is a fun sound when you walk into a gym and just
I love it. The activity,
yeah.
It brings
I
me
love
back. I did
basketball.
David Lipscomb camp when I was a kid. That's the one I got to go to for 3 years. Coach Don Meyer was there,
Yeah.
and I've never done so many push-ups in my entire life. But it was a wonderful, wonderful experience, and it like changed me on a few different levels. They had devotionals every day, and it was like what some of my daughter, like going away, staying in a dorm for a week.
Yeah.
Like it really kind of helps mature you a little bit. So we're trying to provide a little taste of that here in Robertson
That's
County.
cool. We went to UT Martin from West Kentucky. That's
Yeah.
where we went back in the Pat Summit days. She was we actually had some, and my friend Dina can tell you more about it, but she was actually like a student coaching us, and we had some exposure with Pat, and I didn't remember that because I was like, I didn't pay. I wasn't as into.
You didn't know you were in the midst of a legend
I
there.
really didn't.
Yeah.
And I was one of these athletes. I was not a passionate athlete. I just wanted something to do.
Yeah.
And I was 6'1" in high school, and they're like, "You're playing basketball,
Yeah,
like it or
if
not."
you're tall, they look at you and go,
Yeah,
you need to be playing basketball.
So that's we didn't have
yeah.
a lot of opportunity
Yeah.
like that, so there weren't a lot of options. But
Yeah.
is anything else you need to?
Got
plug before we go?
one more thing, and these we do have slots open on this. So our church right now has our VBS this week. I just want to let everybody
fun.
know.
There's so many VBSs
Yeah.
going on. That's great.
It's 5:30 to 8 at Coopertown Church of Christ. That's 3618 Old Coopertown Road, Springfield, Tennessee. It's the white church right across from Coopertown Elementary on the Old Coopertown Road. We feed your kids. They have plenty of activities, crafts, games. We're gonna have
VBS is awesome.
bouncy house tomorrow night. We're doing a big thing for the last night. So it started last night, runs tonight and tomorrow. Great group of people up there. And so if you're looking for your kids to plug in somewhere and learn a little bit about Jesus, I promise you they will learn a lot up there. They're going to have a lot of fun too. We have all age groups. And so please, if you're interested, bring them. I think we had 46 kids last night, which is a lot for our little church. And so we're excited. If you want to, you can still come tonight and tomorrow night if you're
Give them
interested.
the specifics again. Where is it located and the hours?
Coopertown Church of Christ. That's 3618 Old Coopertown Road. It is the white church across from Coopertown Elementary. 3618 Old Coopertown Road, 5:30 to 8.
Awesome.
Yep.
Love it. Brian Pulley, United Way here. If you don't understand what United Way is, they are the bridge builder to the nonprofits. We have got an amazing United Way community and just love the relationship we have with you guys.
Love it too. And next week when I bring Catherine, I'm going to go back to drinking my coffee and just let her talk. I'm kind of looking forward to that. So let her do her thing. It's
the pressure off.
our first week. I'm just going to say, you got it.
Go.
All right, I'm going to sit over here.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, we're out of time. I do want to plug one real quick thing. Don't forget, you do have this at Ebenezer Baptist tonight. They've got Mark Trammell Quartet coming tonight. They're suggesting a $10 donation at the door. It's a fundraiser. Kids under 12 are free, but again, this is happening tonight at 7 p.m. Of course, you've got the big barbecue happening at Martin's Chapel this weekend, 60th annual barbecue. It is 4 to 8 p.m. We'll continue talking about that, tomorrow as well. Rachel Culver's coming in tomorrow.
Best barbecue meal you will get in Robertson County. That's near my house.
stuff.
We mark it on our calendar.
Yep.
It is phenomenal. Go
is
there
great.
if you want some real deal, old school country cooking barbecue. Right there.
It is good stuff. And one on a personal note, Stay Positive News asked me if they could tell our story about my husband and I retiring into teaching, and that went published today, so you can find that. I put it up on my page. You can see that, but it's about us changing our careers and going into education. And so I ask you to check that out and check out staypositive.news, staypositive.news. We have Rachel Allison that comes in every month and talks to us. She came in while I was out with my knee surgery last week. But just, again, I was very flattered that they even asked us to do that. And so go check that out and check out what they're doing at staypositive.news. And we appreciate you joining us. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you.
Rachel Culver, Gwen Harder will be with us tomorrow for, again, Friday. It's Rachel's Day, and that's always fun. You're going to get some deep Jesus stuff on you tomorrow, guys. So I hope you'll join us. This is 1100 WSGI. God bless.